What's up, YouTube? This is Swide from Reddit Troopers, and today I wanted to make a video showcasing one of Reddit Troopers' innovators. His name, as you can see in the top right-hand corner, is aNDy. He is one of Reddit Troopers' elders, and he has been using this particular strategy to outstanding effectiveness, so much so that a number of players in Reddit Troopers have adopted it, using it in their raids. It's incredibly effective for these meta bases with offset air defenses. Obviously, it has its limitations, and I'll explain those near the end. But on the whole, this is one strategy that you all should add to your repertoire. And it is basically an old school LoGoWipe or Logo Valk. I don't know. You can do the same strategy with Valks, depends on the base. I'll show a couple replays with each. I'll play this first one and just walk you through. I have a few replays, so hopefully the content-heavy video will help a little bit. Earthquakes go down right off the bat. The benefit of using an earthquake in this case is that, again, it goes right at the beginning. It's a plug-and-play thing. You don't have to worry about timing it right or it missing the target with a jump spell. I know adrenaline gets rushing somehow in this little iPhone game, and I've missed spells live before. It happens to the best of us. But with the earthquake spell, you can just line it up right as that 30 seconds is counting down and just drop all four there. The benefit of 4 earthquakes over 2 jump spells, you've heard me on the channel before, harp against earthquake spells on the whole, but they really do help with pathing. Jump spells can get a little wacky sometimes, especially if you have more than one. You've seen that AQ glitch. I've seen other troops just running into walls. People have shared videos with me with a number of other glitches. Jump spells don't necessarily have all the kinks worked out, and the 4 earthquakes basically is just the equivalent of a ton of bombers. It is going to destroy all the walls. The openings are already there. There's no retargeting that happens, so nothing fishy can go on. Because of that, 4 earthquakes are safer. You don't actually need that many spells. A jump spell would, in theory, save you a spell and allow you to bring something else. But because you're using loons, they don't really need spells. And for those of you unfamiliar with a LoGoWipe, the concept is to drop golems and your hybrid portion of your attack up on one side, bang into the core, take out as many air defenses as possible, and then follow up on the back end with loons for the other defenses and cleanup. And that's basically what happens here. So you can see he dropped his golems. He actually saved one until he bombed in. He was asked him about that, why he saved a golem. He said just for pathing purposes. There's obviously a chance all the golems go one way. If you save one, there's a greater chance that they break up and tank around the whole base. After that, he poisoned the CC, as you saw. That slows him down and also wears him down a little bit for the AQ. And then the heal goes in the center. He dropped his BK and those P.E.K.K.A.s that you saw, and they come in. As soon as they kind of make it through this first area and all kind of come into this second area with the air defense, the expos, and all that jazz, he drops a heal, and he drops the rage spell directly on them. And everything is just going to make quick work of the core. There's lots of storages, but P.E.K.K.A.'s under rage, 1 hit of storage, so it doesn't really matter. And then here come the loons. There's no air defenses left on this side, so he's just going to drop 2 loons on the defenses that he can. You can see the Raged King over here working on that wall. The Queen is going to take out that last air defense, and you'll see him follow up with loons here as well. Very, very simple attack, all things considered. Again, it doesn't work on every base. The air defenses do have to be kind of one-sided, and these meta bases are perfect for this type of strategy because lots of people offset the heroes or at least the AQ from as many air defenses as possible because they're trying to avoid some kind of loon attack. And you can take advantage of that with loons of your own. Very interesting. Let me play another one. These 2 attacks were against, were in our war against HC. And they were actually on the channel before, but I wanted to break them down for you guys so you could see kind of the power of this attack. This is a base that is trying to bait in some kind of shattered Laloon. High health buildings around Expo. They'll be in range of your golems if you come in this side. The hope is that you would get 2 air defenses in the AQ, but the way he spaced them, you probably won't, without the DPS taking its toll on your units. So, instead of that, aNDy again decides to use what I'm just going to call the aNDy, because Hulk always gets the fun of naming things, but this is the aNDy. You all heard it here first. I don't want to hear it any other way. This is the aNDy. Basically a LoGoWipe, but it has some alterations to that strategy, obviously, so I think it deserves its own name. Earthquakes again go down. He bombs into that first area just to make sure his golems are headed in the right direction, and then he earthquakes. You could probably have earthquake beforehand, wouldn't have mattered as much. Again, earthquakes are very simple in that sense. The poison spell you'll see very often goes down on the CC, even if it's not going to do all that much damage to it. Generally speaking, it just wears down the loons if they're in there. If it's a lava hound, probably don't need the poison on the CC, but an early poison also slows down those units from getting to your golems, getting to your P.E.K.K.A.s. So the same deployment here. Wizards go behind golems, they're clearing the trash. An important note is that these early balloons are going to help defend the AQ. The Archer Queen is absolutely the most important part of this raid. She's the one that ends up getting these back-end air defenses that are offset from the rest of your hybrid portion. Obviously, the king is going to break through a wall, usually with a P.E.K.K.A. or something, and try to help take care of those, but the AQ is really the whole reason this strategy works, because she can sit behind, she can get into a core type area, sit behind the walls, and still take those air defenses away. And once they're down, he's just dropping loons. And you'll notice he doesn't save all the loons until the end, he drops them as he goes. One benefit of that is that, again, it defends the Archer Queen. She has to stay alive in order for this type of strategy to work. And if she doesn't, it's generally speaking a fail. I was using this strategy in our current war, and I used Valks for it, which you'll see here. aNDy's actually going to do a queen walk with Valks in this replay. But my AQ took a walk. She didn't latch onto the CC dragon, and that messed up the whole raid. It was a fail because your AQ has to take care of the CC, and she has to get to the other end in order to take care of those back-end air defenses. Because of that, it's sometimes worth it to burn a heal spell simply on your Archer Queen. Usually you want to drop the heal spell after your golems and your P.E.K.K.A.s move into the core area. You heal them up while they're taking care of heroes, maybe while skeleton traps pop, and while they're taking all of that DPS from the surrounding defenses on the outside. But there are times, again, where dropping the heal spell on the AQ is essential because she is, again, the most important part of this raid. So you'll see he's doing an AQ walk here. She is going to grab this air defense, and because he had this wizard here break this funnel, she's going to come back around where he set up the rest of his raid. So she's going to join in the hybrid portion there. He's going to have to use her ability here. No, he's got enough healers. She's going to be fine. She'll take out the BK, no problems. Golems are in, and here come the Valks. He waits on, obviously, the Valks and the BK as long as he can, because he doesn't want them just taking damage for no reason. This time he uses a jump spell, which is pretty cool, only because there's not just one central core. The core is split up into a lot of these little compartments, so he would have needed a lot of bombers to get him into the first layer where an earthquake spell could actually do what it's supposed to do. So in this case he brings 2 jumps. There are times where this is the best strategy. Valks especially, I've noticed, aNDy doesn't generally do this with P.E.K.K.A.s, but he'll do it with Valks because they're tanky on their own, and they're so fast and they do so much damage per second that they can really make more use of a jump spell than a P.E.K.K.A. can, generally speaking. And he completely just ignores the Lava Hound. One of the reasons for doing an AQ walk is just in general to completely ignore the lava hound to make sure it doesn't pop, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's the aNDy, guys. It's a phenomenal attack. I've used it. I used the LoGoWipe version with back-end loons very successfully. I failed on my first Valk variation, so maybe have some work to do there. But on the whole, it's an incredible strategy for the anti-3 bases that are oh so popular right now. One more thing that I want to point out is that each raid is obviously going to vary. I was just playing this last one again. Things are going to change. It's up to you to decide what's best. Obviously, this is not an end-all, be-all strategy. It only works with bases where your entry point is going to get a couple air defenses, and hopefully, in this case, it was a back-end jump spell, but hopefully your AQ or a BK and some P.E.K.K.A.s can work through a wall and grab the last air defense. Inevitably, there will be variation to an attack style like this, but there are ways to make it more consistently successful. Number one, never send your loons in against an air sweeper. Your loons aren't under haste or rage, and they don't have the power to fight the sweeper and take out the defense they're targeting. Number two, common sense normally tells you in a LoGoWipe or back-end loon strategy to target air targeting defenses first. That's not always the best idea. Your units in the center are actually more important to the raid, so sometimes it makes more sense to target those ground targeting defenses first and protect those units in the center. Two attacks you saw that were from the HC war were first attacks, no less. It's a base where traps don't really, or I'm sorry, it's an attack strategy where traps don't really matter as much because there's so much DPS, so much health there, and back-end loons are relatively a simple process. You just kind of drop them on the sides first to defend your units in the center, where the loons aren't in range of the air defenses, and then you follow up completely on the back end once the rest of the air defenses are down. So great strategy. Absolutely give it a try. Let me know what you think. Until next time, guys, this is Swide from Reddit Troopers. You guys have a good one.